All right, and welcome to the Blake Hawkins Show. I'm super excited to be able to have you join me today in today's show. This is going to be awesome. So we're going to be going over building your personal economy on episode number one, and I think this is super important and super relevant to a lot of different factors that people are going through in today's world and navigating those challenges in 2026. But before we get started, I do have past podcast episodes from previous different so if you go to the YouTube channel, you should find those past episodes. I interview, business entrepreneurs, real estate entrepreneurs, solo episodes going over business, mindset, high performance leadership, um, faith, different topics. But this podcast specifically, mainly we're going to go over business, finance, real estate, and really just building your personal economy, right? I think that's really important in today's world. And so I'm super excited to get this going with you, and thank you for joining me today. So episode number one, and this is going to be going over building your personal economy through real estate more specifically. Why is building your economy important? Nowadays, here we are in January 2026. There's a lot of moving pieces in the marketplace, globally, but then also, here collectively as a nation. And people are feeling some financial pressures and some stresses. The real estate market has, been a bit challenging the past 3 years or so. And there's a lot of opportunity out there. I'm a big believer in abundance and opportunity, but it's okay to say that there has been some financial uncertainty for a lot of people. And whether that be maybe they had an unexpected life event that happened that caused an extra expense. Maybe it's that their current job or current occupation isn't providing any income that's kept up with inflation and keeping up with the economic rise of cost of just normal everyday goods and supplies. Or it's just maybe you're someone that just wants to be able to expand your current financial system and increase your income so you can maybe pay debt, consumer debt, or maybe you are looking to buy a house. Maybe you're looking to invest and grow your financial well-being and to be able to build something long term. So either way, it doesn't matter what position that you're in right now or what path you're on. We can all 99.9% agree that building your personal economy is a priority. It's a priority for myself and my family, and I know that if you're joining in here, it's a priority for you. So let's jump into this. Building your personal economy, more specifically, doing it through real estate. I think this is going to be awesome. So look, there are so many different ways to build your economy through real estate investing. And I think that's really critical here, because if you're not a real estate agent, meaning you're not working for a client, you don't have a fiduciary responsibility to a buyer or a seller, and you're wanting to participate in real estate, not in that specific role, but anything outside of that, you're going to have to be an investor, meaning you're going to participate in real estate transactions from a perspective and interest of being able to buy an asset and sell it for and make a profit. That's the way of, right? You buy low, you sell high. And the lower you buy and the higher you sell it, the more money you make. So that's always the plan and the target. Some deals are better than others, but you're going to be a real estate investor. It doesn't matter what your experience level is. If you jump into real estate transactions and deals and you're not a real estate agent, you're not representing a client, then you're representing your own interest, which is to be able to make money on a deal, right? And so let's jump into that. What are some different ways how you can participate in real estate? we often see HG, the TV shows, right? HGTV or whatever, where they're flipping houses. You have the husband and wife couple in Waco, Texas, where I believe it's called Magnolia Home Flippers, and they go in there and they rehab the property. They put 60, 70, 80, $90,000, $100,000 into a property, and then they go sell the property, and they're able to make a profit on that sell. A lot of us are familiar with fix and flipping. And when we think of home investors, often that's what we think of. We think of buying a property, fixing it up, putting capital into it, and then selling the property on the market, and then realizing gains, realizing a profit on the deal. And that is one aspect. But I want to start off with what I believe is the best place to start in real estate investing. And it's we call wholesaling, but I think that term has taken on a hand of its own. And when we hear real estate wholesaling in our industry, in our space, there's all kind of different ideas and different it's more a life of thoughts behind that. But I want to basically just call it real estate acquisitions, right? Acquisitions of real estate deals that are off market, to me, is the best place to start in your journey. The very, very best place to start. And there's a couple reasons why. The first reason why I believe being able to learn and acquiring real estate off market is the best place is, number one, it's low capital invested, meaning you don't have to go spend $30, $40, $50,000 rehabbing and fixing a property to be able to realize a gain, to realize a profit. All you need to do is be able to have a property under contract with a seller. So I think that's the first piece is low capital invested, if not no capital, but I don't want to promise that because there's a lot of no money down deals. And typically if you don't spend money, which is possible, you're going to be spending time. So either way, you're going to be investing something. It's going to be time or money. And you may have to invest a little bit of money to get your first deal, but it's little to no money investing, which is powerful. The second reason why I think real estate acquisitions is the best place to start real estate investing. It's when you learn the art of acquiring real estate off market, it is an invaluable skill that could make you a lot of money in the future. And I think that's really, really important to know. It's the skill of acquiring real estate off market is such a high value skill to have that you cannot overstate it enough. It's something where it doesn't matter which path of real estate investing that you grow into, whether it be fix and flipping, whether it be having rentals and being a landlord and you're building a rental portfolio, whether it's you're doing commercial multifamily real estate transactions, or you're doing syndication deals, or you're doing high value add multifamily, and maybe you're forcing appreciation, and then you're selling the property or flipping commercial real estate. You're doing retail real estate, mobile homes. It doesn't matter which path you go to in your real estate journey. The art of being able to acquire real estate off market is the number one skill that there is. And there's nothing more valuable than that. So that's the best place to start. Oftentimes people want to start in the fix and flipping, or they want to go buy a rental property, or they jump straight into multifamily. I don't believe those are the best places to start unless you have a whole lot of capital set aside, and you simply just want to deploy your capital into a deal or a transaction and be able to earn passive income from that. But even with that, you have to be savvy enough to understand deals, being able to underwrite deals, and be able to understand what kind of deal you're getting yourself into. Otherwise, your capital could be at risk. But if you don't have a lot of capital set aside, or you have a little capital, then real estate acquisitions is going to be the best place. And I've been in this business now for going on 9 years, if not 9 years. And it has kept me on my toes for sure. There's been a lot of learning experiences, and you're dealing with a lot of you know challenges and some things that aren't typical in what most people would think of real estate. You're dealing with inherited properties. You're dealing with properties that need 50, 60, $100,000 of work. You're dealing with properties that the seller may be a hoarder, and there is stuff stacked up from the floor all the way to the ceiling in every room. You may be dealing with squatters, meaning that you have a seller wants to sell the property, but there is a person or persons inside the house, and they're basically they're not leaving on good terms. So you have people squatting in the house. Dealt with that a couple times. And so you got squatters, you got bad tenants that you have to evict tenants, or you just have sellers that also have some challenges where they want to sell the property and close, but they need some assistance and some support before it hits the closing table, or maybe right after it hits the closing table. So these are some of the issues that you're going to face on real estate acquisition. So when you're going into these deals, you need to have the mindset of being super flexible and nimble, and having a creative, I hate to say problem solving, because I think sometimes you get caught up in that, but having this mindset of being solution oriented. That's probably a better way of putting it. Being solution oriented, where there may be an issue on a deal, but you're going to find a solution to be able to get it closed. Because it could also have title issues as well, right? Where you have to work through those title issues. So those are just some things that you're going to be facing on real estate acquisitions. And it's good to have, like, I'm wanting to create the framework for you right now, where you have the right framework going into this, because when you go into these deals, these aren't squeaky clean deals. Often they have challenges, they have hair on the deal, but that's where the opportunity is. That is your opportunity, and that's your opportunity to make extra money for your family, or maybe you want to go into this full time. But I think most people starting off this would be a good thing to start off with on the side, meaning you have a job, you have a salary and income, and you want to do 2 to 3 deals a year to make you an extra $30,000, right? I mean, that could really go a long ways for families, where you have a family and maybe you're making 80 grand a year. And your current financial system at your job is set where you're limited, where you only get a very small bonus each year, or maybe you don't get a bonus at all. And if you're able to go do a couple deals over the next 12 months, you can bring in an extra, $20 to $40, $50,000 of income for your family. That's a huge jump for people. So that's where you can scale and expand your current financial system, and real estate acquisitions is the best way to do that. So what's step number one? What is the best place to start? Well, now, shameless plug here, but I have a company called Property Royals here in Houston, Texas. We service the Houston MSA marketplace. So all the way down from Galveston, all the way up to, Waller, Texas. We're in that vicinity, and we'll be expanding from there. Now, to give you some background, I have done real estate transactions in 20 plus states across the US. I, at one point, was doing more of a nationwide real estate transactions. I have fixed and flip homes in Tennessee, West Texas, Florida, Louisiana. I've done a couple flips in Missouri. Like, these are some random places, right? Georgia. So I don't recommend doing fix and flips out of state. I have done that. Some of them were winners. Oh, we did one in Arizona. Some of them were winners. Some of them were not winners. But long story short, I've done real estate transactions across 20 different states in the US, and I've done fix and flips, actual like construction on properties in 5 or 6 states across the country. So where is the best place to start? Number one, if I was talking about Property Royals, because I'm telling you, if you want to get into real estate, I would reach out to myself. or reach out to our team and maybe join in and do a joint venture deal with us. What does that mean? That means, you see a vacant property that needs work, you send us the address, and we work that transaction together with you, and then you get paid on the deal. We do a lot of deals that way here in Houston, where it gives people an opportunity to be able to jump into real estate without having to go figure everything out from A to Z. So the best place to start is to reach out to myself, reach out to our team, and let's find a way for us to joint venture and do deals together, maybe for at least the first couple, where you can learn and you can grow and you can get some deals done. Or maybe we can do this long term together. But if that's not a place where you want to start and you want to start on your own, then let's start here. I'm going to go over the basics with you, how I started, so that way you can implement. All right. So step number one is you need to generate lead flow. You need to generate leads. You need to generate opportunities. There's a couple different ways you can do this at a low cost. It will take time and some hours and some work. First thing you can do is you can put out what they call bandit signs. Bandit signs are those 18 by 24 signs you see on the side of the road, or plastered up on a tree, or at a signpost that says, "We buy houses, cash, call me 832-346, number, right?" Those signs, they work. Okay. Believe it or not, if you've ever seen those signs, you're like, man, why do people put these signs out? Well, they do work. Now, they work with volume and they work with frequency. Sometimes you get lucky and you put out a batch of 150 signs and you get 2 deals. Sometimes you put 400 signs out and you don't get any deals. It's a numbers game, but it is a good place to start. So I recommend maybe starting off with some bandit signs. That's one good marketing channel you can do to generate some lead flow to build your personal economy through real estate. So I recommend starting off with minimum of 200 signs per batch that you do. Usually if you do 200 signs, you're going to generate a couple of leads, and then that could bring you your first real estate deal. On the sign, you're going to put "We buy houses, cash," and then put your phone number. Do not put your personal cell phone number. I don't recommend that. I recommend you getting a phone number through maybe an app and using that phone number, so that way it's separate from your personal line, and you're not having people call you, at 2:00 in the morning on your personal number. And then you can be able to decipher if you are having an inbound call, that, hey, this is a lead because it's ringing your app phone number. So that's step number one, is using bandit signs, minimum of 200 signs a batch. The second thing you can do to generate lead flow in the beginning is driving for dollars. Now, they have technology now where you can virtually drive for dollars. And I know that can be fruitful. I was old school when I did it, because this was in 2017 at the time. And I literally just drove around neighborhoods, for days and hours. Now, you don't have to do days and you don't have to do hours, but you got to drive around, and I would recommend collecting a minimum of 100 vacant properties. So 100 vacant properties minimum is what you're going to want to collect. Now, that may take you a couple hours depending on where you are, but what you'll do is you'll drive around different neighborhoods, and you'll get a notepad like this, and you're going to write down 123 ABC Street, a house that you see that's vacant, or you see a house that has distress signals, meaning grass is high, tarps on the roof, broken windows, mailbox is full. These are distress signals of either vacancy, or there could be some issues with the property. You want to write these addresses down. Get a minimum of 100 of these addresses, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take these addresses and you're going to look up who the homeowner is. And there's 2 things you could do. If you're really, really hungry, you're going to do both of them. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to, what we call, skip trace the homeowner, meaning you're going to find their contact information, and you're going to call them and you're going to text them. So that's the first thing. The second thing that really is useful, but you got to go the extra step, is you find out through the skip trace where they live, and go and door knock their resident and ask them, hey, this is Mrs. Owner. He's home. Blake. I'm a real estate investor in the area. I'm actually working on a project a couple of streets over. I actually wanted to stop by and see if you were interested in selling your property on 123 ABC Street. Now, yeah, it's an extra step, man. Blake, I don't want to drive to the house and knock on the door. I don't blame you, but I'm telling you right now, if you want to get your first deal, these are going to be the best ways to do it, and they will take some effort, and they will take some work, and they will take some time. But if you do it consistently, you will get your first deal, second deal, third, and maybe even your fourth. Okay, and it's a low way of being able to generate leads. So step number one to generate leads, lead flow, is bandit signs. Step number two is driving for dollars. Step number three, that you could do that's going to be low cost is buying some distressed data, meaning you're going to buy some list. This could be a foreclosure list. This could be a tax delinquent list. This could be an absentee owner list, meaning that someone owns the property, they don't live there. And you can buy these lists online for fairly low cost, maybe a couple $100, $500, 5 posts maybe for specific zip codes and areas. You're going to buy these lists for zip areas in your list, and you're going to basically just go down, pick up this phone here, and call all of these numbers. And they're going to answer and say, hey, is this Mrs. Smith? Hey, Mrs. Smith, my name is Blake. I'm actually calling you to see if you can interested in selling your property on 123 ABC Street. And listen, it's a numbers game. You're going to get a lot of no's, and you're going to get a lot of people that say no. But that's the third way you can generate some opportunities. And if you don't want to do those, it's okay. Reach out to myself or our team at Property Royals, and we'll joint venture and we'll do deals together. And not only can we do deals together, you're going to get to be able to do transactions with us, learn. We're going to go over terminology. It's basically, we're going to educate you and teach you without maybe formally doing it. You're going to be educated and taught by doing a deal with us. Okay. So, we're not going to be having a class per se, but you'll be on the phone with us with sellers. You'll be on the phone with us with buyers. We'll be talking about running numbers on a transaction and how to negotiate with the seller and where do we need to be at on price and what is the rehab for the house, right? So that's how we can joint venture, and it can be very fruitful for you, and you can actually do deals with us. So either way, it doesn't matter if you want to joint venture and do deals with us or whether you want to go generate your own deals. If you're going to build your own economy through real estate, which I highly recommend, the best place to start, if you don't have a couple $100,000 set aside for just buying multifamily or buying profitable cash flow deals, is real estate acquisitions. That's the best place to start, because when you master real estate acquisitions and you're able to learn the art of acquiring 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 deals a year on the front end, then it gives you the power and the ability to branch off and be able to do the specific exit on the deal that fits where you are in your life. Maybe you just want to assign it, aka wholesale it, and make a fee on the deal, which that could be very fruitful. So, and you don't have to put no capital in. Or maybe it's number two, where you want to do a fix and flip, where you actually want to buy the property, you want to acquire it with the seller, buy the property yourself, put money in the property, and then go and fix and flip and sell the property. That's number two. Or maybe you want to acquire the property from the seller and you want to keep the property as a rental property and build long-term wealth through appreciation of the asset, so where the property increases in value. And the second way, which is going to be cash flow, where that property actually makes you a couple $100 a month in actual income each month from owning the property and getting the rental income. So those are the most basic ways of getting into real estate and investing. You can wholesale it, you can fix and flip it, or you can keep it as a rental property and build long-term cash flow and wealth with appreciation. So those are your ways. But regardless, it doesn't matter which path you take. If you learn the art of acquiring off-market real estate, you will be in control of your opportunities. And then number two, you will be able to do cases for years and years to come. It is a wonderful skill to learn. And I'm going to tell you right now, Almost anyone can learn it if you're teachable, coachable, and you're not afraid, to talk to people. And if you have a solution-oriented mindset. So I'm not promising that everybody can become Jeff Bezos through real estate. I think that's a irresponsible thing to claim, and I think it is hard work. It is challenging. Some of these transactions have a lot of challenges, and there's a lot of problems to solve. So I don't want to minimize the skill or the effort that you're going to have to demonstrate and to acquire, but it is a skill that anyone can learn if they have good work ethic, they're coachable, teachable, and they're really motivated and hungry to be able to get into real estate investing. And let's bring this all the way back around of why we're even doing this. Episode number one is to build your personal economy. Okay. So if you have a W-2 income job and you're on a salary, or you're maybe a trade, you have a trade, you're a trade worker, you're a contractor, shoot, maybe you're even a professional, you're a doctor, an attorney, doesn't matter, and you want to take your current economic system that you have, which maybe you have a set income, a set limit on your income, and grow that and expand that without having to go build your whole business and deploy capital to grow business and doing all these things where being an entrepreneur full time requires you to do, and you just want to expand your current income. Real estate acquisitions is the best way to start. That's the best place to start in real estate investing. And that is the best way to grow and build your personal economy in 2026. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. We're going to be doing many, many more. I'm going to be working on putting one episode out per week. Real estate, finance, business, wealth building, entrepreneurship. It's going to be great. But let's go build our personal economy. It's really, really important. 2026, there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of great things happening if we keep our eyes open to the opportunities. And if you're feeling financial stress, if you're feeling some financial pressures, and you just need to make extra money for whatever reason, either to pay down consumer debt or to go save up for a house or to save up to buy a new car or whatever it may be. Maybe it's you want to go start a business or you want to buy a business, whatever it is, you need extra capital. Real estate acquisitions, in my opinion, is the best way to start. So please reach out to me if you have any questions or if you need anything or you want to joint venture on some deals with us. We'd love to work with you. Reach out to me directly. Until next time, let's go build our personal economy and keep a positive and solution-oriented mindset.